The 3 count question of the week.
So Monday Night Raw, there was on Miz TV, Miz, and at least I assume I assumed it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek storyline deal, but I guess you never can totally be sure. But announced himself as the first inductee of the next class into the WWE Hall of Fame. So it kind of just made me think, and we'll talk more about the Hall of Fame in a little bit. But is the Miz the question of the week this week? Does the Miz deserve to be a future WWE Hall of Fame?
I'd like to pause really quick because the actual question posed was, is Miz a first ballot Hall of Famer, which had me asking the question, are there ballots cast for the Hall of Fame? Do we know?
Is that how I posed it to you guys?
Yeah.
That is exactly how you posted.
Oh, well, apparently I posed it wrong.
I was just curious, like, does the WWE...
I don't think they really have ballots.
Okay.
Because on our social medias, it was, does the Miz deserve to be a future Hall of Fame inductee? Which, I mean, we can discuss like how quickly after he retires from ring competition or full-time ring competition, how quickly should he get in? Like, I know we've discussed, like, to me, I think the Undertaker should get in this year. They're going to be in Texas, where Mark from Texas is from. I still think, and I don't know that I don't think they'll actually do it, but like, to me, the Undertaker should get a ceremony just in and of himself. But so like in that sense, in a way, like the Undertaker would be a quote unquote first ballot. Like it's his, like last year they were catching up from like the COVID year. So like this is like the first one. I'm not going to say post-COVID because we're certainly not post-COVID, but it's like the first, it's like his first eligible year, so to speak. So we can kind of discuss that too. But like, to you, is the Miz a WWE Hall of Famer? And yeah, let's tag on. Like, how quickly after he's done should he get in? Is he like one of those ones you turn around really quick, or is this like is he like one of those legacy guys like decades after he retires?
I mean, he did main event WrestleMania.
That is a fact.
I don't know. I think for sure he is a Hall of Famer. I would say yes. How quickly he gets in, I think is a great question, because I think there's probably some wait time on it. It's not an immediate Miz retires. I would say if we're setting the over under at 5 years, I would say over 5 years.
Really? Okay.
Wow. I say yes. I will play the over under 5, and I would go easily under. I don't think it's the next year, but it's not more than 2 or 3 years. I mean, Santa's little helper.
I think it depends on how the Miz's career ends.
Okay.
If the Miz stays healthy and retires on his own terms, like if he goes out like John Cena will probably not go in the WWE Hall of Fame anytime soon.
Are you sure about that?
Because he is consistently in the zeitgeist. There's a possibility he could be at any WrestleMania or any SummerSlam as an active competitor, and WWE is trying to, or has tried historically, to not have active competitors in the Hall of Fame. They put Edge in because they thought his career was over.
Was done. Correct. Right.
They put Beth Phoenix in because they thought she was done. They put Trish in because they thought she was done. And then like you bring them out for one-offs after the fact.
Yeah, they want to be like done with any sort of regularity in terms of competition.
I think 5 years is plenty of time for The Miz to go into the Hall of Fame. If it were me, The Miz would go in. He would, if this were like a video game where you play your game and like you have certain number of accolades that you collect that gives you a Hall of Fame point total like Madden, and if you hit that point total, your character goes into the Hall of Fame. The Miz is already there. The Miz has already banked up his Hall of Fame points. He's going in, like guaranteed. More than just like the championship, the championships. The Miz does more for the WWE outside of the WWE than anyone else currently in the WWE, with the exception of maybe
Titus?
Xavier Woods.
Oh.
I'm talking about mainstream
Okay, I got you.
or media outside.
Titus does a lot of like charity stuff in the name of WWE.
Right. And like
But it's
Sasha
not-
Banks too. Like Sasha is very mainstream right now. I mean, she was at the No Way Home red carpet, only person from WWE that was there. So between those three, like The Miz is a household name. The people know who The Miz are, or people know who The Miz is, excuse me. And more people will know who The Miz is.
The Marine 4 moving target.
I mean, yes. I'm pretty sure more people have seen a Miz movie and didn't know it. Just from like watching stupid stuff on
Christmas
TV.
Bounty.
See? I mean, you're making my point.
You laugh at me, you know all the titles, Ryan.
I mean, he has a list in front of him, I'm sure.
I absolutely.
That's in my draft next week.
I feel like I gave you
Christmas
guys
Bounty.
a Miz Christmas movie last year as a gag gift.
You
2
certainly
years
did.
ago.
You certainly did. One of them.
Treasure.
One of the many. Yeah, to me, 100% Miz is a Hall of Famer. I think that the time period of when he gets in, like, probably depends where the WrestleManias fall. Like, if he were to retire before, like, a Hollywood or a California WrestleMania, I think he probably gets in fairly quick.
If
like-
WrestleMania is ever in Cleveland, bar the door.
I mean,
man.
who has
Could you
gotten in
imagine?
quick though? Like, and it's tough to say that just because like Kane wasn't actively wrestling, but he was still involved enough that
So that's
his induction was probably not that far off of when he stopped like full-time wrestling.
right. So I'm looking back. Eddie, obviously, but he died. Edge went in literally
Edge.
the year after. Shawn Michaels went in the year after he retired.
He didn't see that coming either.
Well, half of him did.
Oh, that's true.
Ric Flair went in the night before he retired.
I mean, these are like, do you put Miz up with those names?
Yes.
Okay.
Modern day. Yes. Because also, I don't expect The Miz to retire anytime soon. The
Yeah.
Miz has at least,
Yeah, he probably has at least 5-7 years left.
I would say 10. Not as a full-time
Yeah,
competitor.
I mean, he's 41.
He can go till he's 50. He's in the
He's-
best shape of his life.
Yeah, he's best shape of his life.
But he's also probably going to want to start spending time with the kids soon.
That's
Would
why he
be
can
my
do part-time.
You know, like,
he could,
some
he could come in for
part-time-ish,
WrestleMania stuff.
Um,
Braun Breaker's going to need somebody to beat up at WrestleMania
Fuck
43.
them kids.
Like
um,
Tony Calzone is going to need somebody to beat up at a SummerSlam.
Tony Mama Luke.
Tony Pepperoni
Wrangler.
Prosciutto. Forget about it.
I mean, to go
mean,
from
NXT has a Miz right now. Grayson Waller. That's a easy made feud.
sure,
And Jeep Wagoneer.
Jeep Wagoneer. Mike says Tony Meatball. Yeah, it's an easy lock. If I had to go over under 5 years like you guys are doing, I would say probably under 5 years from. And I guess that's the hard part is like, when do you consider him like, when do you consider him retired, or when do you consider him, you know, kind of out of the active roster pool? You know, like that's kind of the key question. Mike says Grayson Waller reminds me of Mr. Touchdown. Mark, your thoughts on the Miz?
The Miz. Well, I think the Miz is awesome. And he'll be in the Hall of Fame without question. And I'm going to give it a firm 3 years after he retires.
A firm 3.
3 years. 3 years he's going to be in.
Ryan
after
usually gives
retirement.
it a soft 2, but a firm 3 is all
Firm
right.
3 is better than the soft 2. And I'm sorry if
She
that
doesn't have
upsets
a
you,
choice.
Smokey.
Did Ryan take his medication before?
Doesn't sound like he did.
The general consensus from
Oh,
the
my.
social media is, like, whether you like the Miz or hate the Miz, I think everybody's kind of in agreement that the Miz is a WWE Hall of Famer. I actually don't see any people saying that he should not get in. Because I mean, yeah, if you think about, like, he's really kind of the he's a tremendous WWE superstar. Like,
He was in the campaign.
Oh boy, was he in the campaign.
the what?
In the,
The
Um,
Will
in the
Ferrell
champagne.
movie, The Campaign. What a classic.
Oh.
Never saw it.
With the Zach Galifianakis? No?
I saw it. I didn't know the Miz was in it.
He's
Now
on
you
the
know.
credits.
Oh, good for him.
Any other thoughts to the Miz and the Hall of Fame?
No.
Okay.
And that's the end of that segment.
Big Mike typing in my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger phrase ever. Go Chargers, go.
The Miz inducting himself into the Hall of Fame kind of made me think, like, I almost went, like, who are 3 people on the current roster who are future Hall of Famers, which I think that's almost too easy, because it's, you got Veer, you got Shanky, I would
Bob
say even
Breaker,
Marie, but
too.
she's not on the roster anymore.
Right.
She'll be in there.
But, you know, obviously Roman, Charlotte, Becky, there's a lot of people who are,
I mean, there's a ton. So I guess the better question would be, which 3 on the roster now do you think get in the fastest after their retirement, barring, you know, a fatality?
well, hold on to that one, because, like, my thought that I had, the direction I kind of am taking it is, who do you think out of the current WWE roster, who are the next 3 inductees that are on the current? So, you know, whether it's retirements or other, you know, who do you think would be the next 3 that get into the Hall of Fame?
Well, I think WWE's sitting on a gold mine of talent, and the first one would clearly be Braun Breaker. Probably followed closely by Jeep Wagoneer.
Are we counting Cena in this? Like, can Cena be a pick?
Sure.
Okay.
He's currently on the roster.
I
Mike
would
says
say
Veer, and Veer, because it's going to be forever until he gets there, and then he'll be gone like 3-0.
I would, my 3
That's undefeated.
that I think would be the
It's
soonest
undisputed.
would be Cena, Brock, and Paul Heyman.
Oh, okay.
I would probably have to go Randy Orton, AJ Styles, Shane McMahon.
The best in the world.
It's a good answer.
Is he
And that's why I
active
hate this
though?
so much.
It's a good answer.
I'm not
You
sure
would
if he's
clap.
active.
You would clap if we were on Family Feud. Tim, it's okay. Come back.
I still hear it.
Oh, my favorite fucking part of this show. No,
Oh,
but seriously, Ronda Rousey.
Oh,
I could see that happening.
Is she currently on the roster?
oh, Ronnie.
Yes.
No.
Active? No. I think she's still signed.
Yeah, I believe she is actively
Actively
still
signed.
under contract. Yeah, she's still actively under contract.
Okay.
Isn't she? Is she pregnant still, or did she give birth?
She did have birth.
Okay.
Yep.
She did have birth.
A full
She had
hand
birth.
and body.
Yeah, full
had
hand,
birth.
body, and spirit.
Strange way to put that, but
Yeah, she had birth.
she
She
had
had
birth.
birth.
Mucho birth.
Jeez.
Birth. She had
Okay.
birth.
Birth of Faye.
It's a good baby.
Anybody want to give their three?
So 3 that are currently on the roster.
Yes.
Smokey took 2 of mine already. I was going to say Orton and Styles.
I mean, you can
And,
still say them. It's not like a
well,
draft pool.
They're off the board, Mark.
they're
Yeah,
off
you
the
can
board.
no longer say them.
Oh my!
Braun Breaker's still there,
Maybe,
though.
Braun Breaker's a good one. Corey Graves is my choice. I see him going in there.
You're gonna say Corey Graves before Michael Cole.
Yeah, I think he's going to leapfrog right over Michael Cole.
Like Michael Cole.
Cole would have been a good answer.
Cole, was
Michael
Cole is a
Cole
great
deserves it.
answer.
Cole was a great answer. Heyman was a great answer, Matt.
Oh,
Matt,
Heyman
who were your
deserves
3
it.
again? I forgot. I've said so
I
much
mean,
stupid shit
I
since.
went obvious with Cena and Brock, and then I said Paul Heyman.
And Brock. Okay, Brock was okay.
Paul Heyman would be fantastic. Yeah, you got Seth Rollins will be in there, and of course Becky 2 belts, big time Bex. She's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, now you're just naming everyone on
Oh,
the
you're just
roster.
naming the roster, which
What about
I mean,
Jeff
thank
Hardy?
you,
I'm actually impressed by this.
thank you, Nick Khan. It's going to take up less of our show, but
I was going to say Jeff Hardy up until about a week or 2 ago.
yes,
don't
he
know
would
that
not
would
be
be-
currently on the roster. That is correct. Did you
Do the
understand?
Hardy Boys ever
question?
make it into the Hall of Fame?
He didn't understand the assignment.
I didn't understand the assignment.
No, I think they will,
Did you-
Ryan. They should, without question. I think
They
I think-
should.
They
I
should.
think
They
they will.
deserve it. They have to.
Demolition
Jericho
should
will.
too, but here we are.
Well, Demolition's suing the company, so they're
Well,
they're
I
probably
think
not
we
going
saw
to
Playing the
honest-
game of if we're playing
I
the game of
mean-
shoulds.
But also, Randy Savage allegedly molested Stephanie McMahon,
allegedly.
and he's in the Hall of Fame.
He didn't get until he
So-
died, though.
Well,
Was it a
how
molest
much
or was
longer
it
do you think
consensual?
old Demolition Ed has got before he's dead?
I mean, I don't know.
Ooh, I don't like playing this game on
I
the
don't.
show.
Yeah, this is a
And you're playing with the right guy.
yeah, no shit.
Yeah. You
I mean,
actually
did-
grind with Ed.
It's funny. Ryan said Shane when Vince is probably more likely for the Hall before Shane is.
It turns me on.
I don't know
Yeah.
why that was the sound.
That's,
It's the only Vince sounder I have on the board.
I don't think Vince
That's
goes
what-
in until. I don't think Vince goes in until he's dead.
Right, but I think he would die sooner than
Yeah, okay,
Shane
he
would
might-
go
like-
in.
I mean, unless he
Oh,
literally
that's fair.
isn't a human being, which I guess the verdict could still be out on.
I got.
Can I-
I think
Can
I
I
got
make a
some.
request, Jim?
Go ahead.
Can I? Anytime Smokey brings up bottle caps, can you play that clip of Vince saying it turns me on?
Dude,
Oh shit!
they're
I
so
still have my
good.
bottle
The
caps
red
upstairs.
one.
I need.
Oh my god,
God, those were awful.
they're so good.
Not one
My
more. I
goodness.
ate my box.
Thank you, Mark.
Uh,
Appreciate it. The
Tim,
grape
did
ones
you
would go to hell,
understand
though.
the assignment?
I did understand the assignment.
Okay.
And so I think I've got a couple of like really solid answers here. The first of which is Triple H.
Okay.
Technically still on the active roster.
And he's not in by himself, correct?
No,
He's just in as part of DX.
he's in his DX.
All right. Okay.
I think Triple H, especially now with his heart incident, there's going to be a push to give him his flowers as a solo competitor. I had another answer that I thought was going to be good, but then I realized that he's probably going to be wrestling for a long time too, considering the fact that he's already old as shit. And that's R-Truth.
Yes,
R-Truth is absolutely going into the Hall of Fame
Yeah.
without question.
without question. And the man is like 55, but you couldn't tell.
Is he really in his 50s?
Oh,
R-Truth
he
is old.
He's older. He's old as hell.
He's 49.
That's
Yeah,
still
he-
old.
He'll
It
be
is, yeah.
50. He'll be 50 in a month.
Little Jimmy's 22 now, so
I mean, God bless. And then for my third answer, I will take well, shoot fire. Who am I gonna take?
Carmella.
I will not take Carmella. Not in a million years. I'll take an answer off the chat board, which is an actual honest answer. And you guys can talk crap about her all you want, but Natalia.
I mean, we talk crap in jest. We all have admitted that Natty
Oh,
is
absolutely.
one
She's
of the
one of my
best
three.
technical wrestlers.
we know
She's one
Jim.
of them.
Yeah, we get it, Jim.
Well, I mean, if we're going on like time, I
I
mean,
mean, you also put Teddy Hart on your list, but
certainly did not. Certainly did not.
heart's a heart, you said.
Most wanted list, maybe. Hall of Fame list. There you go, Devin.
I made a promise to Vince McMahon that we'd get every heart into the WWE Hall of Fame. That includes Teddy. My sister George would be very upset if he didn't get in. Hell yeah. Give me a hell yeah.
Those are good three. Tim, my three are Randy Orton, Natalia, and Brock Lesnar.
It's a horrible three. You left two hearts off.
Do you- like I think the WWE will want to put Brock in, and I mean I'm sure they'll likely pay him enough to do it, but like
Hell yeah.
like do you think Brock Lesnar gives a shit about being in the WWE Hall of Fame?
Brock Lesnar
Not at
doesn't
all.
give a shit about what he's
About
doing
anything.
tomorrow.
Like just as long as he wakes up
You
and
just
gets
pay
to
him.
plow the fields with his teeth and
And then plow Sable. That's all he needs.
That's all he needs. He's a simple man with simple needs.
like the
I'm gonna
man,
go launch hay bales across the field for 10 hours. Get ready. I'm home showering.
get ready, woman. That man ain't showering before he plows that.
No.
He's coming in and just he's probably doing
He's
it
just
to her in
plowing.
the field. Let's be honest. Christ. But the man shows up to SmackDown in a fucking overalls.
Brock Lesnar is on.
All
one.
right. Who would you rather be? Sable and have to take it from Brock, or Michelle McCool and have to take it from The Undertaker?
I'm taking it from Brock
What
Lesnar.
kind of question is
This is
this?
unreal.
I'm telling you,
It's a
I
great
bet-
question. Everybody wants to know.
A great
Brock-
question. It's a question.
It is a great question.
Question of the week next week. Write it down, Jim.
I bet Brock is very active in the bedroom.
Well,
Taker
he's
just
rock-
lays there
plays his
like a
entrance
dead
music
man.
as he walks in.
Expects-
He's the dead man.
Expects all the work to be done. Taker just lays back down.
Yeah.
Sure.
Undertaker
And then he
laying and praying. Brock Lesnar has active guard.
That's awesome.
That's what he is. That is exactly a live look at Undertaker in the bedroom.
Kobe.
Yeah, good God, what an awful
Sure.
question.
I
Brock.
thought it was a really good question.
Sure,
Thank
Brock.
you, Tim. Sometimes
you,
me and Tim
Ryan.
just click. Give me a high five there, buddy.
Mark and Matt,
No
I
problem.
don't think you guys answered.
I'd probably say the Undertaker.
No. You're
That's
you're
awesome.
the lady friend.
Oh, I'm the lady friend.
Yeah, you're
That'd be
taking
Michelle McCool.
Oh, okay.
I
Is
guess.
Bailey an option?
I guess
Matt,
for
are
the
you gonna
reasons
say Sonny?
listed, I would. Oh God. I would ever want that. I would say Sable.
All right. So Matt, your Hall of Fame question. What was what three?
The shortest amount of time after their retirement they get in.
I think Paul Heyman goes in without a retirement.
Yeah,
don't think
because
he'll
I mean,
ever
with
retire.
him, I mean,
And I mean, the three I listed would get in pretty quickly after they officially retire because it's probably not long for those three to do that.
Right.
So I guess like actually active people that wrestle more than 7 times a year.
I feel like Roman would be like a quick turnaround. Like he's
Yeah.
to me, he's one that I mean, it's.
I think Roman and Seth both have a quick turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Does the
as like part of the Shield.
I'll say, does the
soon.
Shield get in?
Yeah, I could see it
I
happening.
feel like it absolutely has to, given kind of like how the Shield carried wrestling programming for so long.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the Shield are WWE Hall of Famers. You know, and it's kind of that like the time heals all wounds thing. Like I know like Moxley's been very vocally critical about the company, but I think at some point, I mean, we've seen it that you create merchandise with the Hall of Fame, so to me, like without question, you can bust out the Shield merchandise.
And I think Charlotte, depending on how her relationship with WWE progresses here, gets in really quickly, unless things happen where she walks away from the company. But I would also say Becky probably gets in pretty quickly as well. And
I mean, I'm fairly certain Charlotte is now single again, correct? Her and Andrade are no longer.
That's maybe
the
a rumor.
Yeah, it's the rumor. I don't know.
A rumor. Okay. I mean, if that's the case, I think she does stick around with WWE maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah, possibly. I think that was going to be if she
same
was
time
going.
she has her dad shit talking the company.
That's the thing.
Every
too.
opportunity he gets.
Well,
Did you hear the asinine thing that Ric Flair said about Bryan Danielson?
No.
What I thought I said. What was it?
Bryan Danielson isn't as good of a heel as I was, and he's not as good of a babyface as Ricky Steamboat.
Yeesh.
And I'm like, you old man, calm down.
You idiot. Jeez, wow.
Like, just
yeah.
go on your bitter world tour.
Yeah.
You disrespectful, stupid idiot.
Yeah, I think that's more of just. I think WWE is just looking at it like this. This is just an old man who's just looking for easy clicks and dollars at this point. Like I don't think, unless he really would get like into the weeds somehow with WWE and things, I don't necessarily see it having any impact on Charlotte or anything like that. Yeah, so like Roman, I think like the problem would be because I think like the 4 horsewomen would probably get in like to get like the same year. Like I feel like Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, Bailey would all kind of go in the same year and almost like induct each other. But the problem is like does one retire and then the other one of them wrestles for like 5 more years, you know what I mean? So maybe once the last one retires, they all get in pretty quick. If that counts to the question. I think Seth Rollins I think would be a fairly quick turnaround.
I mean,
Of
I think
the horsewomen, who do you think retires last?
Bailey.
Bailey, right?
Bailey.
Bailey
I
or
feel like
Charlotte.
she doesn't have anything outside of wrestling.
Yeah,
Like Sasha's
I
probably the
think-
first to go.
yeah.
I think Charlotte's the first to go.
Oh, Charlotte. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
To retire from wrestling, not just WWE.
Oh no, not to
Oh
retire.
yeah, I think
from-
she'd be the first gone from WWE.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
first
I
to
could see
retire. The
Sasha.
first to retire from wrestling will be Sasha Banks.
Sasha,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I think it would be Sasha, Becky, Charlotte, Bailey in terms of retirement from wrestling. I think because I think Charlotte, she's a Flair.
I mean, I guess in terms of active people, both Bobby Lashley and Mysterio probably hang it up relatively soon, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, Mysterio, absolutely. I mean,
Oh yeah, Rey
Mysterio's a great choice.
Mysterio.
Nobody thought about.
Yeah.
Yep. 'Cause
Lashley,
he's easy in. I mean,
without
easily.
question,
No
he's,
questions asked.
if there's ballots, he's a first ballot.
if they do a
if
balloting system.
Yeah, like there isn't, but if there were, I think he would be a first ballot guy.
I think
Lashley,
Styles is a first ballot guy, and he gets in very
without
quickly.
question. Without question.
If anything, I think to prevent him, I don't want to say prevent him from going to AEW, but if he goes to AEW, WWE can always say like that's our Hall of Famer somewhere else.
Yeah, I think he's a quick one, and I think too because like at this point, you've gotten a lot of the guys from like the 90s and early 2000s that have retired. So, and you've been working backwards through 80s, 70s, and you have the legacy inductees and stuff like that. So really, like with the WWE going forward, because I mean, you've seen Batista's in, and the Bella Twins are in. Like, I just think you're at a point where if you're going to continue to do 5, 6, 7 superstar classes, like you almost need to have quick turnarounds on people, because how many more Hall of Famers are out there? And as the years go on, not to be morbid, but like the wrestlers of the past, like they're getting older. So like, I think you're just looking at a situation where if you want to have the wrestlers being inducted and giving their own speeches and stuff like that, like I think you're getting to the point where like you're going to need these quick turnarounds or quicker turnarounds.
You said the wrestlers of the past are getting older. Are there wrestlers of the past that you can think of right away that should go in that aren't in?
I mean, Demolition should probably be in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Probably.
The big
I mean,
earthquake. Come on.
Earthquake's dead.
Earthquake's been dead, right?
Come on.
It doesn't mean they shouldn't be in.
Right. No,
Oh
for
no,
sure.
but you can't get older once you're dead.
Okay, so you're
You
saying
can just get more dead.
wrestlers who are still alive that are not
You
in.
said you don't want to be morbid, but folks are getting older.
Fair.
Correct. Right. I mean, Owen Hart, but he's not. It's but he's not going to be older.
Correct.
Mhm.
Correct.
He's young at heart.
Owen Hart. Owen Hart.
Oh, Owen Hart.
Not young at.
Oh God.
I mean, and also like remember we've put in like Coco
Nope,
Beware.
Devin,
We
you
put
can't
the
change your
Bushwhackers
answer.
in.
You can't
No,
change
Devin,
your
you
answer.
can't
Your
just-
answer.
Get out
was
of
the
here,
New
Devin.
Day.
What do you say? He wants to
Wait,
change
he
his
wanted to
answers.
change
Too
the
late.
New Day to Rey Mysterio. You can't.
Yeah, Rey
change it.
Mysterio is a great answer.
No, it's
We
too
all want to
late.
do that. I would put Brie Bella in by herself.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Just for that scream.
She's a Slammy Award winner.
She sure is.
I'd like to see the Birdie
Sable's not in,
get
right?
inducted.
Who?
Sable.
No. William
I
Regal.
think so.
War Games.
Oh my God.
War games! War games! War games! War games!
So I'm
Don't
out here
blame me.
making honest answers. And some people are just here to watch the world burn, apparently.
That's right.
Game Wars.
Games! War games! War games! War games!
You're a monster, right?
Y'all done?
Mark, I don't know if you ever answered Matt's one. The two. I mean, I didn't necessarily have to give all three because I think I only gave Roman really, but like anybody that has a quick turnaround.
A quick turnaround.
God, I love your
Let me
internet,
think.
by the way.
You're the only one.
You
Oh, he's
love the
frozen
internet.
now. Up there he is.
I'm chilly down here. I'll be honest with you. I'm a little chilly.
So is your internet.
Did you want some chili?
No thanks.
Man,
Does it have scallions?
I have
Yeah.
a bean. I have a bean aversion.
Well, if you
are
have
you serious?
like legit Texas chili, it doesn't have beans.
Well, nobody eats legit Texas
Like, are you-
chili.
I mean, Texans do.
Well, they're
You
wrong.
gotta have beans.
Now, when you say
it's not
bean
chili without
aversion, do you
beans.
mean like they make you sick, or do you mean they?
No, I was just being facetious. I love beans. Do you really think I got this way without eating any stupid beans?
Well, I mean, I wasn't gonna say it, but like I was,
Jim, I believe there's a sounder on the soundboard that would explain. Thank you. Not that one. I'm no
Beans.
Tutor McTutor.
That's a
Toots
good question,
McToots.
Devin.
I
Do
wouldn't
we
even
see
say.
Brody
Here's a quick
Lee,
turnaround.
aka Luke Harper, in the WWE Hall of Fame?
Nope.
Now that would be a good
Legacy class.
Yeah.
Legacy
That is
class,
important.
or I mean, yeah, I mean the Wyatt
think-
family.
I don't think they even put the Wyatt family in, honestly.
No, because Rowan and Braun. Like I think, like, is Bray a Hall of Famer?
No,
No.
neither is Braun.
Nope.
Certainly not Braun. Yeah.
God, how
Um,
could the WWE fuck Bray Wyatt up?
Mm.
How are they fucking do it?
Well, they're not a member of the cult of Wyndham, apparently, so they just need to calm down. Another really good question is, do they reach out, they being the WWE pal pronouns, do they reach out to AEW to induct a Jericho or a Moxley or a Big Show or a Dustin Rhodes? I mean, those are four guys right there that are not in the WWE Hall of Fame, who should be. Arn Anderson, not necessarily in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's in with the Horsemen.
Say he's in with the Horsemen.
Right?
so I
Doesn't
don't-
Arn Anderson single run or Brainbuster Arn Anderson deserve a Hall of Fame?
Depends on.
I'd say
I mean, if you're
single
asking
run,
me,
yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
again, right? We have Coco Beware, so
right? I mean,
And the Bushwhackers.
BTFBB got in. Yeah, I don't know that they necessarily go out of their way to call Tony to get Arn in, but I think, yeah, I think for these other four, they should. Like, I mean, Jericho, yeah, all of those four, without question, should be in. And
I don't think the WWE makes that call. I honest to God think Vince McMahon thinks I beat WCW and I'm going to beat AEW and I'm not going to call him.
Or I'll die trying.
And he'll die trying.
Right.
well, I mean, yeah, I don't think WWE is ever going to put AEW out of business.
Nobody thought they
guess-
would put WCW out of business.
Yeah, I don't think it's the same. I don't think
They couldn't kill TNA for Christ's sake.
I mean they thought that TNA was just gonna die themselves, and
TNA, that faction we had with Trish.
but yeah, I don't think it's
What a great theme they had.
I don't think it's the same as the WWF WCW thing. Like I really don't. Like I just don't think that. Like,
I mean, could you have seen Vince calling Ted Turner, "Hey Ted, can we borrow Hulk Hogan? We want to put him in the Hall of Fame."
no, but again, I don't think it's the same. I really don't think it's the same
I
thing.
think you are misjudging the level of pettiness Vince McMahon would have. There's no way he would ever do anything like that.
We also said that, and then Chris Jericho showed up on the Broken Skull sessions.
I mean,
But that's Austin. Like Austin asked for that.
It was on the WWE network, though. It's not like it was just Austin having like Austin under whatever WWE deal he's on.
I mean, if
there's-
Austin wanted to have,
There's
if
certain
Austin
people
wanted
that
to have
have
a
that
conversation,
pull with Vince, though, and Austin's one of those people.
And I think Jericho's cool with Vince.
You also didn't get like
Well,
T-shirts
politically,
commemorating.
yes.
Well,
See? We're like, hey, Vince, remember when I went to the insurrection? Put me in the Hall of Fame. And Vince is like, yeah.
it's like, hey Vince, thanks for letting me borrow the jet so my wife could get down to the insurrection.
I appreciate it. You know, and I don't think like
I
Dustin
see you're
Rhodes,
wearing a red hat tonight.
I don't think like Dustin Rhodes has done anything like egregious
It's even
like
worse.
in his time with the with the AEW that like he has like is on bad terms with W. Who are the other two that you?
Moxley.
Dustin-
Here's the deal. That's
Dustin
business.
Rhodes, Moxley.
Moxley gets in with the Shield. Moxley doesn't get in with himself, and Vince can make money on the Shield getting in. So that's an absolutely.
Ooh, man, is Tony Khan going to let Vince McMahon make money with his guys
Sure.
while they're under contract? You're not going to get Chris Jericho Hall of Fame shirts while Chris Jericho's an AEW guy.
If Tony Khan's a businessman like he thinks he is, he could probably get a cut of the merch.
Fucking right, dude. Like, and then you can turn around and
We
you
know
can
the Jaguars aren't making money right now.
You could do one even better. You could ask for rights to play the Hall of Fame on AEW television for your Hall of Famer.
yeah.
Like,
You're talking about billionaires who can make money.
Mm.
Like it's, and here's the thing, like, and you can turn around then on AEW merch.com and sell Chris Jericho Hall of Famer shirts. Like, because he is a Hall of Famer at that point. So you can make money. You can turn around and make money on that. Like,
He's a WWE Hall of Fame. He's not a Hall of Famer.
he's a Hall of Famer.
Like it is the WWE Hall of Fame. It's not the Wrestling Hall of Fame.
It might as well be the Wrestling Hall of Fame.
right, but you don't say Wrestling Hall of Fame and you don't say WWE Hall of Fame, but he is a Hall of Famer. That is a fact.
They call Mark Henry a Hall of Famer. They call Arn Anderson a Hall of Famer.
Is Reggie White a Hall of Famer?
They call Jim Ross a Hall of Famer.
right. Like anybody who's in a Hall of Fame is a Hall of Famer. So yeah, I just
Does
And-
does AEW create a Hall of Fame?
I hope to God they do not.
Jesus Christ.
I would hope not anytime soon because that would be ridiculous. If they're around in 15
I was gonna
years,
say, I mean,
then
like,
they maybe
yeah, when
can.
did TNA make theirs? Around year what, 10?
I think so.
And like that
Probably.
even kind of looked ridiculous. Like, um, you know, yeah, it depends how long they're around. But yeah, and here's the thing too, like, how long is Jericho going to be wrestling?
Dude, I feel like
Like,
AEW does it like in year 5. The more I think about it, the more Tony Khan's going to be like, "Yep, let's do it."
well,
I
and
mean,
like
it might get to
in
that. It'd be
Adderall
a-
years, that's like 40. So
It
yeah,
would be a
You know what?
ridiculous idea, but he probably will.
You know what
I mean,
AEW may
I
do?
think you put Brody Lee in as your first like person, and then the next year you
Chris
put a small
Jericho.
class in.
yeah. There you go. Mike said Brody Lee, AEW Hall of Famer. He
Yeah,
could be your
yeah,
first
yeah.
class
See,
by
I think
himself.
And just Brody. That's right.
you know what I think they might do instead. Tony Khan's a sports guy. What
Like a Ring of
if
Honor
a
or
Ring
like
of Honor?
there you go.
And
Yeah,
you
Oh,
do a
okay.
Ring of
All right.
something. Yeah, because you can incorporate that somehow. Yeah, I like that. I like that more than a Hall of Fame, and that makes more sense for them. But like to Jericho, to Dustin, like these guys are theoretically speaking at the end of their wrestling careers. So
Don't tell Dustin that.
so like do they, you know, if they're just guys behind the scenes of AEW, I don't think even in that, especially like Vince gives a shit if you know about them being AEW guys.
Right.
You know, so I you know, I don't think there's any issue there either. Any other thoughts to Hall of Fame stuff? I mean, there's other avenues I think we can take with Hall of Fame discussions as we get probably closer to WrestleMania, because that's when you get the Hall of Fame time. So we can revisit these.